all legal notices have been duly posted and the court is duly called. Is there a motion to open court?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Available, please open court.
All right, Dallas County Commissioners Court is now in session for the August 2012 term. The Honorable Judge Jenkins presiding. Please remain standing for the invocation.
All right, and this month, as our county is preparing to return to school, we'll continue with our theme of inviting our young people here to lead us in our invocation. Today, I'm honored to have Raylan Hines here. Raylan is an 8th grader. He loves video games. He plays basketball. He goes to Oak Cliff or to Fellowship Christian Academy, which is part of Oak Cliff Fellowship, or is close to Oak Cliff Fellowship, but fits to it. He's got his mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Hines. He's got his grandmother here with him, and also his principal is here. So, Raylan, we are honored to have you here. He wants to attend Christian college and get a degree in business administration, and then become a professional athlete. So, Raylan, thank you for being here and doing our invocation.
Will you please bow? Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. I just pray that everything will go well today, as this is a very special day, Father God. I just pray that you would just lead Judge Clay Jenkins in the right way, Father God. I just pray that you would just have this Commissioner's Court meeting to flow the way that you want it to flow, Father God. I just pray that you would just touch the hearts, Father God. I just pray that you will have them to do the right decision, Father God, and that everything will go well within the city of Dallas, Father God. I pray in the great city of Dallas that right decisions are made and everything goes the way that you want it. And most of all, I want to pray over the leaders in the head, Father God, that you would just keep them in the right position and that you would just be with them. And it's in your name. Amen.
Let me mention with Raylan, he has attended Greater South Central Mission Baptist Church. He's very active in the youth choir there. He sings in the youth choir and serves on the youth usher board. So quick shout out to the church there for their role in this life as well. And again, thank you. Well, today we've got actually 6 sessions of Commissioners Court. We're going to hear our resolutions and a presentation, and then we'll consider our formal agenda. We'll recess for our court's informal work session, our briefing session. We'll hear from some registered speakers. We'll have closed session, and then the court will stand adjourned, but we'll reconvene at 11 for the 6th thing, at 11 a.m. for our parking group. And so with that, we have 2 resolutions, and our first is from Commissioner Cantrell.
Judge and Commissioners, it's my pleasure to introduce a resolution for Ernest L. Nelson Jr. If I can have all of my documents, everybody's good news. Well, he's making his way up. He was born in Phoenix City, Alabama. He attended Arsenal Technical High School and Indiana University. He's a member of Mount Hebron Missionary Baptist Church. He is married and has 6 children. He enjoys fishing, camping, gardening, volleyball, and walking with his wife, cruising, and I'll read the resolution and move this adoption. Whereas the Dallas County Commissioners Court takes special notice when the individual has given long and faithful service in Dallas County. And whereas Ernest L. Nelson Jr. began his Dallas County career on April 16, 1987 in the Dallas County Community Supervision and Corrections Department as a Community Supervision Officer. And whereas Ernest has continuously served in the Community Supervision and Corrections Department in various positions with increasing leadership responsibilities to include Assistant Supervisor and CSO Supervisor, where he currently serves. And whereas Ernest has served Dallas County continuously and diligently for 25 years, now therefore be it resolved, the Dallas County Commissioners Court is hereby recognized and extends sincere appreciation to Ernest L. Nelson Jr. for 25 years of faithful service, and further expresses best wishes for his continued success in future years of service to Dallas County. And I so move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Dr. Wood, you want to say something?
I'm extremely proud of Ernest. Ernest has worked earnestly for my 7 years that I've been there. And just in our discussion today, he indicated that he would give me another 25 years also. So we will be back here in 25 years for the second resolution as a result. But I'm extremely proud of the work that Ernest Nelson has done and his supervision of our North office. Congratulations.
Well, I'm proud to be an employee of Dallas County. I am grateful for the opportunity to support me. I've been able to raise 6 children and support my beautiful wife who's here with me today.
I'm right here.
As I say too many, 33 years ago I said I do, and I still do. So, but I am so grateful to stand here and to be a representative of Dallas County Community Supervision and Corrections Department under the leadership of our great director, Dr. Michael Noyes. Under his leadership, we no longer supervise individuals just because we're mandated, but we do provide supervision now based on scientific evidence, which allows us to hold individuals accountable while at the same time reward them for their good behavior. So I pray that my colleagues who are also present, here with me as well, I pray that they receive the same blessing from Dallas County that's been afforded to me. So, Honorable Judge Jenkins, Mr. Cantrell, and other distinguished members, I say thank you, and it's an honor to receive such a recognition. Thank you.
And Ernest?
I do still.
Mr. Harding, with your group, all of them, Ernest, as well.
Come back on it. Please.
After the presentation, Ernest, if you would walk away for I'm going to hold it and take a group picture
Resolution, Judge, is that probation, parole, and community supervision week that we do each and every year. It's whereas Dallas County Community Supervision and Corrections Department is an essential part of the justice system. Whereas Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals uphold the law with dignity while recognizing the right of the public to be safeguarded from criminal activity. Whereas Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals are responsible for supervising adult and juvenile offenders in the community. And whereas the Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals are trained professionals who provide services and referrals for offenders. And whereas the Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals work in partnership with community agencies and groups. And whereas the Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals promote prevention, intervention, and advocacy. And whereas the Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals provide services, support, and protection for victims. And whereas the Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals advocate community and restorative justice. And whereas Dallas County Community Supervision and Correction Department professionals are a true, quote, force for positive change, unquote, in the communities. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Dallas County, do hereby proclaim August 20 through the 24th, 2012 as probation, parole, and community supervision week, and encourage all citizens to honor these community correction professionals and to recognize their achievements. And I so move.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously, and then the secretary said.
Dr. Lloyd.
I'm just extremely proud of my staff. The staff has been recognized across Texas and across the United States as the model of probation departments to see. People come from all over the United States and Texas to see how we do things and why on earth would we do it that way. And when they leave, they see just exactly why on earth we do it that way. We're proud of the efficiencies that we provide, but most importantly, it's efficiencies that not just provide for savings of money, but that in time and resources can provide for the outcomes that are best, which is a safe community and lower citizen rate for those funds.
Dr. Lloyd, I've had the occasion to be part of that presentation that someone come for on the far left. You got some people from Hawaii?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so I've been a part of those presentations. I think Officer Nelson, Mr. Nelson put it in perspective a few minutes ago. A number of us have seen directors come and go in this community. And while there's a lot of emphasis to the tune of about $135 million that we place on the detention of about 6,200 to 6,500 individuals in the Dallas County Jail. You guys in the community supervise about 59,000 individuals on a daily basis. And I really appreciate that, but more than that, you're an integral part of how we manage this system and manage it in the alternative. Not only talking about restorative justice, but also how are we able to keep it within the constraints of such budgetary challenges. And so I appreciate the fact that every Monday morning you're in those 8 o'clock meetings and whatever other meetings you need to be a part of it. We've been able to provide you some tools from Dallas County to help you do your job better. And as we've said, we stand available as you begin to use video conferencing a lot more with regards to as a tool to help you manage that part. So I just want to thank you and the team for being an integral part of what happens in this community. It's not often seen. I just want to say thank you.
And I also want to add that, as we probably all know, Dr. Moss is the vice chair of the CJAT, which has been an instrumental body in bringing forward to this board a lot of changes, which he has been in the leadership position to do as well. And not to mention all the programs that the Corrections and Supervision program has. This last Saturday, Dr. Moss was the Corrections and Probation for All Community Supervision department was there, and it was about re-entry in Senator West. And we had the opportunity to meet with some former incarcerated and some of the businesses that are willing to hire them. And it was a really good, informative meeting, when we hope a lot of the former incarcerated ex-offenders got the opportunity to meet some future employers. So it was really good. I was very happy to see the room was energized, and Dr. Moss and his team did a great job as well. So thank you again to all of you that you guys. Recognition that all the work that you all do as well for community service. We appreciate it.
Dr. North, how many people currently do you supervise, or does your department supervise?
As it stands today, between 56 and 57,000 people, and we employ 634 people.
And when we talk about balancing the budget this year and last year, without a tax increase, we talk about a pay increase for our employees. A big driver of that success is the work of your department and our district attorney's office in managing our jail population, making sure that our beds are available for those who need to be in jail beds, and making sure that those who can get out and be productive members of society are under your care. So for so many reasons, what you do is so important, and I want to join them in recognizing the incredible work that you do.
And wasn't Judge brought it up, but the fact is that I apologize for the barrier that this court in the recent policy has found with regards to probation. Because right now, every Saturday, I've got 1,000 people who work every day who work all week. But on Saturday, we're trying to see their fun, trying to figure out what to do over one house. And so we're trying to work through that. We're getting emails and we're hearing about it. Those are individuals who are on probation and they're working all week long. They have jobs.
Yes, sir.
But the only time they're off is on the weekend. And it's over 1,000 of them. And that's still a barrier for us. It wasn't a barrier before a few weeks ago, but it's still a barrier. We don't want you to know we're working.
Thank you. And we appreciate our partnership, and we look to continue that partnership. And we look at, moving past that and other barriers, that on behalf of those clients that we serve and the community. Thank you very much.
And what it basically means is those individuals who are on a definitive timeline in terms of their service, now Exponential has had to increase it. So now, instead of them being on for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, they're now on for 6 months, 8 months. And we're still trying to work through.
With permission, I'd like to have my staff
Absolutely.
and then a picture.
Absolutely.
Morning, my name is Christy Estrada, and I'm the Community Liaison Officer for Dallas County CSCD. Good morning, my name is Valeria Arevalo, and I'm a mental health screener for the CATS department.
Good morning, my name is Linda Benford, and I am a supervision officer at the South Office.
Good morning, my name is Chris DeLeon. I'm an assistant supervisor at the West Office.
Good morning, my name is Lakita Francis, and I'm an officer at the Decker office. Good morning, my name is Chair Stanley. I'm a supervision officer for the Garland office.
Good morning, my name is Roger Henderson. I'm a supervisor of the 4C program.
Good morning, my name is Stephanie Lockton. I'm Community Supervision Officer for the East Office.
With permission.
Yes, available for unclick the ribbon, and you're welcome. Come on, take that.
Please. I'm going to walk right on behind. All the way behind. Fit, John? Yes, sir.
Just tell the people how to graduate. You learn about the power of the direction of minds. All right. Well, we got the consent agenda. Is there a motion on the consent agenda? Second. All those in favor, aye. This two passes unanimously. We got a bid, I think. Yeah, we got, let's consider item 9, the bid. Is there a motion on the bid?
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we'll consider court orders 10 through 34. Is there a motion on 10 through 34?
Second, but I'd like to pull out, maybe 36,
Okay, certainly. All right, is there a motion on 10 through 34? You want to just comment on that first? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
We'll sleep deprived, I apologize. Please go, please go.
All right, thank you, Judge. Number 32 is a court order to prepare the preliminary engineering for the Southern Dallas County infrastructure assessment. And I just want to speak in favor of this. This infrastructure for our inland port is very, very important. As you know, we've had a lot of problems in the past with getting the inland port up and going. But this year, we are going to get there. This is going to increase the tax base of Dallas County tremendously. It's going to be a tremendous push, help for getting jobs in the southern sector of the city and the county. But also, this is going to provide the water and the sewer and the fire protection for the inland port, which is going to be so important because right now our economy has been down, but our economy is beginning to boom. And I find from our business all over the country that there's no better place to be than Dallas, Texas right now. We have a huge opportunity here. And so I think this is very important for us to have this in place so that when we have this, when these big box stores and these companies want to come in, we have it on the ground, and we have enough water protection, and we have the infrastructure that is needed. This infrastructure is going to be in addition to the fact that we have the natural infrastructure. We have all of the big highways there. We need to have a straight-through freight route down to the Houston Ship Channel. All of these things are things that are going to put Dallas on the map in a stronger position than it's ever been before. I want to go on the record today, and so please do note that I have two cravats that I want to mention. And that is that this water, sewer, fire protection, this infrastructure that we're building must be accessible and available to all of the developers in the inland port areas, and it must be available to equally to all of the municipalities. That's good government policy. And so I'm thrilled that we are getting this done in a very timely manner. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, comments on I'll probably have a couple of comments, on this, because this is a very, very important thing. It goes with other important things that are all happening in that area and give us exciting opportunities. Other comments on
I think Commissioner Dickey pretty much expressed how important this is. I want to thank the public works director for bringing this forward. It has been in the works for quite some time. And what is the timeline for the recommendations on this bill?
We're due to finish up the report and preliminary engineering by February.
Ready? Come forward. Rick Lesberg has been a part of this whole design and art. And I want to thank him and the committee. We met last week out in Lancaster with Mayor Knight, both Mike Eastland and Michael Mars, along with Public Works, with all of a lot of our partners. And all the mayors have basically signed on with it. Even the mayor of Artis Johnson, the state mayor. And Rick, I guess what I really want to talk about is that we've had no fewer since 2010, fewer than about 5 meetings that we've attended.
There have been 5 public meetings, yes.
Public meetings. And all of everyone has been notified with regards to all of those meetings according to COG, correct?
Correct. COG assembled the master list, and I'm not quite sure how many names of individual property owners and developers, but every time there was a public meeting, they received a notice.
Right.
So they had the opportunity to attend, and many did.
And just so that there is no interest, the design, this AECON, and the design of this project is about the needs of those communities.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And the infrastructure, if you've read, it basically talks about the design for the needs of that community, period. without withstanding any property owners. This is not.
There are no specific references to parcels or owning entities or anything. It's a community as a whole, as you said. It's by each city.
Right. And that is in design if you read the report.
Yes, sir.
And this is wonderful because this inland port and this infrastructure is not for Dallas County, it's for the recipients, the municipalities that are going to benefit from this. And I'm thrilled because some of the same commissioners on this court voted against the inland port on October the 21st of 2008. So it's wonderful to have everybody on board.
Judge, I would like to comment on that. You know, that reference has been made several times. On June 17, 2008, all 5 court members voted to spend $290,000 for a comprehensive plan for the inland port. On October 21st, 2008, Commissioner Dickey, along with 2 other former members of this court, voted to take us out of that. Then on June 30th, 2009, this court voted again to go back into and spend that $290,000 on a comprehensive plan. You know, there's inferences that this court has been inconsistent. Certainly my vote has been consistent on that each time, supporting a comprehensive plan and making it to where we can develop that inland port, and it will be a jewel for Dallas County. And I just want to put that on the record.
It will be a jewel, but I certainly agree with Commissioner Cantrell. The concern way back then was that the comprehensive plan would be a 2-year plan that would hold up the development of the court. And at that time, there were companies wanting to come in, wanting to have leases and purchases, and they didn't want to sign the dotted line unless they knew that that development was going forward and at what state that development would come. So this court felt that we didn't want anything that would hold up the port, and that was the reason for it. But that's yesterday, this is today, and it's wonderful that everyone is supporting this huge economic generator in Dallas County.
Well, as usual, you know, mental amnesia, convenience. They haven't read the court. The plan, Rick, basically is the same plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me, if I could, on this discussion is germane to what we're discussing, and I appreciate everyone's comments. You know, this is it's been a very transparent process. I've been very pleased with the process on this infrastructure, and it's not a process that I have driven. I do have a passion for that area and for the economic opportunity for that area, and for the people who live in that area having good jobs. You know, I think a lot of us come from a situation where our moms and dads got up before daylight and traveled a long distance to the job, traveled a long distance back to that job and got back after dark. And too many people in southeast Dallas, too many children in southeast Dallas are living that life right now. Too many parents in southeast Dallas County living that life right now. When I got here, what I wanted to focus on is transportation in that area. I know this Commissioner Price said what we need also is water. So I want to commend you because the water aspects of this are something I hadn't thought about. And it's something that, you know, I think Mike Rollins, I know, is now coming into the headlines Friday. They're putting $23 million into water for their city this year. And
their bond package.
And their bond package, and they've said, you know, we want to learn or work more together about this and get involved in this, these transportation initiatives and infrastructure initiatives. So I appreciate your work on this, Commissioner. I see some people in the audience, I see at least one of them in the audience who are the citizen who worked on the committee, McCormick and Mr. Rader. I know we had some mayors and other folks.
Yeah, Councilman.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mayor Kessler, right there. Appreciate that work as well. A lot of exciting things happening in this area. Yesterday's headline of the Metro section is kind of a great encapsulation of just some of those things. And I want to quote from that article what the head of TxDOT said in that article. He said, "We're not in the transportation business, we're in the economic development business." And that's why we are supporting LEAD-MAG and these increased truck weight limits between the Port of Houston and the southeastern portion of Dallas County. We've got this court unanimously, and I want to applaud all of you for that, voted for this transportation reinvestment zone. It's the second in the state, the second county in the state that's done that. All that will go in the state will ultimately, the LEAD-MAG bill has invested $1 billion in this area, and it will be one of the best investments we've ever made, because as we connect the Port of Houston to that area, it's going to have a really positive effect on 12.5 million people that live in the Houston CMA and our combined metropolitan area. So it's a good thing, the work that we're all doing together here.
Judge, long before that, I see Craig Pardue. Long before this court even anticipated, it was Craig Pardue was a bill that I helped author on Senator Wes Carey, and Craig Pardue helped shepherd. Because counties did not have the authority to even be in the water sewer business. So, make it appear as though, we're glad that we finally got a court that can see the vision. But this was, that bill was passed at least, 9 years ago? 9 years ago. So some of us understood water that far back. And so, this is not new. That as though, all of a sudden somebody discovered, the southern sector. We've known what we needed all along. And, some other people thought they knew what we needed better than we knew what we needed. But we knew that, and we began. And that's the reason Dallas County can get into the water business, is because we passed, Senator West carried that bill. And by the way, that's specific for Dallas County.
Well, there's been a lot of work by a lot of people, Senator West, Congresswoman Johnson, a lot of people on this. And I want to single out, though, for today on this infrastructure, your work, Commissioner. As a person on this court who spent the most time on public hearings on that, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention the hard work of the COG on this, Michael Morris and Michael, he's spending the hours a day in their staff. And our staff, we're making our staff, Bill.
And let's not forget the persons, and let's not forget the leadership of Judge Jenkins in this area, because it's he that got the division for LEAD-MAG and saw its creation, and saw that we are now getting a LEAD-MAG. Not in the original vision, it's going to be in stages, but a judge, it's going to be all important to open up that area, I believe.
Just appreciate that. It's been I deal with years ago, we were all sitting around waiting for y'all to arrive. But I appreciate that.
All right. And is there any further discussion? I think that was the only one that was.
We got a motion and a second, did not carry.
All right. With that, I realize that. With that, I'll call the question. All those in favor of court orders 1 through 34?
Aye.
I'm sorry, 10 through 34. Motion. Commissioner Rashid, you
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry. Motion carries unanimously. All right. reconvene in our public session for our brief session. I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Marshall. Please take us through our public session.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 1, juvenile, 1A, recommend approval of the interlocal agreement with Victoria County for residential treatment services for females in the Victoria Regional Juvenile Justice Center Female Post-Rehabilitation Program. 1B, recommend approval of the contract with FFP LLC for phase 3 consultation and supervisory training to maintain the juvenile department designation as a licensed functional family therapy site. Item 2, IT, recommends approval of the contract with Red Zone Resources for the professional services with Scott Tappan to serve as software support manager. Item 3, Public Works. 3A, recommends acceptance of the offer and purchase agreement from Jose Roberto Mendez for the tactical post property at 343 East Malloy Bridge Road in the city of Cedarville, and authorized tax assessor collector receiving and dispersed proceeds in accordance with property tax code. Item 3B, same process with Next Lots 3 LLC for property at 2624 Hewlett in Lancaster. Item C, same process with Next Lots 3 for taxable property at 4295 Elkins in Lancaster. And item D, same process with Jose Gomez for taxable property at 4606 Pioneer Road in the city of Balch Springs.
I just want to, Mr. Martin, I just want to thank Alberta. I was looking for Pam. Oh, she is, Pam is sick, okay, thank you. Great job. These properties have been kind of hanging around, the fact that you've been able to go out there and, you know, to forge a sale.
We have a few more offers that we'll be presenting also in some addition.
Good, good. It's beginning to really, thank you.
Alberta, at the risk of stepping onto one of my own rules, but we are talking about public works. I want to recognize the incredible work that your staff did over the last, whatever it's been, 8 or 9 days, both with our ground campaign and our aerial campaign. It's been necessary for your staff to do GIS maps to get us where we need to go. And I know people have worked long hours, overtime hours, on a system that needs to be updated, and you and your staff, exemplify, what the class and capabilities of the employees, and so there's so many other departments, Zach's department and Dr. Perkins and Health and Human Services. But I want, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for the work. I know how hard you all work, so thank you.
And Judge, I just second that. That is, we can't start naming good departments without leaving someone out. But I especially appreciate Public Works. Ever since I've been here for almost 8 years, Public Works has been the greatest department to work with. And we have certainly carried on the Colonel's wonderful tradition that we started.
It's been on time to do a match for the dams.
So, I see the plan here in GIS.
Item 3E, recommends approval of the project-specific agreement with the City of DeSoto for implementation of the Richard Green Road Major Capital Improvement Project. Item F, recommends approval of the supplemental agreement to the master agreement for preliminary design and master plan study of the East Dallas Delaware Phase 3 and 4 in the YMCA extension of the City of Dallas. Item 4, planning and development, recommends the GMP International Price for the Grand Prairie Sub.
Let me stop 1 second on that. Let me give her kudos on that too. Delaware. This is Delaware, right? This is really, it's a lot of people's vision, but a lot of this is Alberta's vision. I didn't get this one at first. I'm big on bike trails, but I really didn't get this one at first. But this is it's going to be a big economic game changer, and it's going to pull our neighborhoods into our park system. Really great vision. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, all kudos to Alberta. Mr. Cantrell's vision. Alberta's the person who got me so love the vision, I should say. But y'all are doing some great works and trails, as is Rick Westberg and our park trails. So.
Item 4, increasing the GMP from 6.1 to 6.2 million for the Grand Prairie Sub Courthouse and address the only request to change order number 1, I believe. Commissioner Garcia, if you've been updated on those changes.
Yes, I have. And I sent an email to all my colleagues as well, saying what was the change order. And I want to thank return Great Westbrook Road to highway. Thank you.
Item 5, Commissioners Court Administration recommends approval of the contract value of the jail medical modification project in the amount of $30.7 million as proposed by Aztec Attorney Russell. Ms. Brown handed out your package earlier this week. At this time, I'd like to open it up to the court and to Shannon for walk you through any of this if you have any questions.
Well, first of all, let me thank Shannon and the committee for this GMP. It's a good proposal. We discussed it with Sam yesterday in sanitation. We have been discussing it, and I think the staff is on the right road. This is not only, this will be coming up in the Parkland budget here, but I've gone through their budget and I've got some real concerns. So I really want to thank staff, not only looking out for the jail medical model, but looking at the rest of our facilities on energy solutions that will benefit us in the long run. And so I just want to thank you and staff. And I know it's been a real challenge driving it. In fact, this is the first time we've used this tool, if you will.
And unfortunately for us, we do have Hill International as our third-party project manager, who is really the one driving this project. From a day-to-day operational standpoint, they have spent hours upon hours with Aztec Russell Turner going over these numbers on our behalf and getting to this point where they are today. We do obviously feel that this is the price we're going to be able to build it for the items that we have in there now. Under this process, anything that there will be some additional bidding by the subcontractors, any improvements on that are our benefit. Anything that goes the other way on that is on the construction manager at risk. So we're very comfortable that this is a fair and reasonable price that is work that's being proposed in the city.
I did see though an email over the weekend beyond the mosquitoes that left. It's I guess it's common, things that are kind of looming.
We do, and I'll have to try to remember here real quickly.
That's all right, that's good.
It's okay, there's a tab here that talks about, and tab number 9 that was in your folder talks about the NWD outreach that's being done on this project.
26%.
Well, what we'll be looking at is we'll have the final number for you once we go through the subcontract bid. And so we'll present that back to you all once we know, but once all the subcontracts have been bought out. So you'll know what that number is for Levy Stratton, for instance. But she has been very involved in, not so much the GMP process, but understanding what ARG is doing as far as their outreach to the subcontract. Any questions? Thank you. So we will have a quarter run next week that will, there was a page in the front of your book that will basically serve as a contract amendment and putting this into the contract down. The next steps are, again, we'll be doing the subcontractor, the final subcontractor pricing. We will have a chance to go to the Texas Commission on Jail Standards to present the final construction documents. We'll have a tentative groundbreaking or wall knocking down ceremony scheduled for October the 7th. Thank
Thank you, Shannon. Item 6, budget. 6A, conference travel training request. 6B, yearly hiring freeze exceptions in county treasurer, JP 1-2, county auditor, HR civil services, county law library, and the juvenile department. 6C, recommend approval of documents developed by the truancy court to maintain compliance with Senate Bill 61 mandating the establishment of minimum training and educational standards for juvenile case managers. And item D, request approval to pay the U.S. Department of Justice for reimbursements not recognized by the department in its last audit of the program. And Judge, you have one to bring up the budget.
If I may say that the item under miscellaneous equipment, show me this voting no on that. We've already discussed that.
I have an unusual, it was a duties payment, but she just objected to the fact that it was on equipment and not on this one.
And Ryan, one thing that might help, the way it's listed on the briefing is miscellaneous equipment and telecommunications request. Just put that heading on the actual page.
Yeah.
That way it conforms to what's on the
I do have an unusual bring up that I want to introduce. Normally, the budget office doesn't recommend double fills, but in particular, Jason, for District Attorney's Office, they requested the double public hearing and recommend it's for the chief of the state jail unit. The reason we're recommending this at the cost of approximately $10,000 is that they have an individual who was in their office, moved to New York, and has now come back, so they would be able to bring them on a week, or two, actually 4 weeks earlier than they would otherwise be able to do. So it makes sense, especially given the fact that they have so many people out of medical leave.
Judge, I believe the briefing agenda, you got 6 speakers listed.
All right. Now, here from our speakers, will Dale please read the rules of decorum for our public speakers?
All Commissioners Court attendees are hereby advised that this meeting is conducted in accordance with provisions of the Dallas County Code, Section 74-71. Visitors and registered speakers are to preserve order and decorum at all times. Personal, profane, or slanderous remarks are not appropriate and will not be allowed at any time during the public meeting. Any and all clauses to be kept brief in observance of time constraints. Obstructive visitors and or registered speakers may be removed and are subject to the penalties provided in the State of Texas Penal Code Sections 38.13, 42.01, and 42.05. Registered individual speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and maximum discussion on any one topic is limited to 30 minutes.
All right, and our first speaker today, lost this speaker. Larson is speaker.
Yes.
All right. All right. First speaker today is Mr. Arthur Ashford. Mr. Arthur Ashford. Mr. Arthur Ashford. Not seeing Mr. Ashford here, we'll move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Sheik. I apologize.
You'd love being a school teacher, wouldn't you?
No, would not be very good.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Lucia Brokenberg. I reside at 2220 Indian Creek in Irving. And I want to talk to you about the Wesson House spraying. Now, I realize, I'm not a big fan of spraying chemicals around the area, but I've realized that at the last minute, there wasn't a whole lot of choice. But now is the time to start planning for next year. And I would like us to consider some environmentally friendly type of approaches for next year. And, I was born and grew up in Purple Martin, capital of the world. And so I'm recommending Purple Martins, of course, and bats and other things that would eat mosquitoes to help with the problem. We may get rain next year, we may not, who knows. But I would encourage you to work with the health department and environmental people and look for ways to reduce the mosquito population other than spraying chemicals around. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker is Mr. Benny Barrett Jr. Mr. Benny Barrett Jr. Mr. Benny Barrett Jr. And not seeing Mr. Barrett here. Oh, if either of you, if either of those people come in, anyone knows who what they look like, you can go out of order and just get here before we're done. Mr. Benny Jeffrey. Mr. Benny Jeffrey. And I don't, Mr. Benny Jeffrey. Okay, I don't see Mr. Jeffrey. Move on again. We'll move on to the next speaker. Mr. Howard Garrett. Oh, the dirt up there. Oh, this is going to hurt. Now, this is a hero of mine. All right. Freedom of speech. Please be gentle. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. And I live at 6563 Blank Circle in the Lakewood area. And 26 years ago, I made the decision, because of the birth of my daughter, to stop using any kind of toxic chemicals on my properties. Last Thursday, that all ended. Toxic chemicals are on my property now. I have probably heard me talk to city council and to newspaper reporters and television, and my main point is that the air spraying doesn't work. 13 years ago, I wrote this book called Texas Bug Book, and I've spent a very large part of my life researching insects and learning about why they do what they do and how to control them. In my Dallas Morning News column and in my radio shows that are nationally syndicated, the main thing I do is help people control insects and diseases with the least toxic products available. The spraying program doesn't work because it avoids the biggest problem that we have with mosquitoes. It avoids the eggs, controlling the eggs and the larvae that are in the water. There are products out there that every homeowner has access to right now in the box stores, the hardware stores, the organic garden centers, well, all the garden centers, not just organic. It is the best way to treat the problem there is. These products can be bought on a commercial basis, to be contractors, they can be bought by the city, governments, and a program needs to be started. I agree with the previous speaker that the program needs to be started right now for next year. It's going to appear that the spraying did some good because of the weather. We were on the back side of the bell curve. It was almost over. If we had done nothing, you would have seen exactly what you're about to see. And I'm obviously disturbed about it. On the other hand, I'm more than happy to help design the program for next year. I should have been asked about it already, and I will be glad to help with that program next year. Spraying from trucks or from airplanes ought to be the absolute last resort. Specific spot spraying after using various oils in the stagnant water, well, draining the water first, and then using these materials to actually control the pest is the way to go. Final thing is that now that we have contaminated a lot of the land, and by the way, these are the insects, these are large beetles that were found around my honeybee hives this morning by my friend beekeeper Brandon Pollard. The people that say this spray is not toxic don't know what they're talking about. The final thing is that you need to detox properties that have been sprayed. We have a detox program on my website on dirtdoctor.com that's explained in detail. The individual materials that make up that detox program are available easily at the hardware stores, the garden centers, even the box stores. We can help write that detox program into the program for next year in addition to the biological control of the mosquitoes, which really will work. It's very unfortunate what we've done. I wish I had gotten involved earlier. For whatever reason that didn't happen, but I'm willing to get involved at this point, and hopefully we can have a better program next year.
The public health meetings are open. We meet every month. Every month. All the cities are there. The public is there. This plan that has been vetted for over 10 years. We've had a mosquito vector program. It has been very surgical. It has been very targeted. We've never heard this hue and cry until this year all of a sudden. And I'm going to tell you, in 2006 we had 6 deaths. This year we've had 10. And we've always targeted. We said it was on the decline. Now, you would have the medical society come in and say 21% of the infection rate, which was a decline from the 60s when we began back in April, was somehow still paramount in terms of where we were. But let me just tell you, we knew we were on the decline. We knew what the numbers were. We ran the trains and so, I have some of those same concerns, but targeted aerial spraying has always been a part of our protocol. And we've always targeted where the hotspots were, wherever the traps indicated that we had issues, looming issues, so that we could keep them contained. So, and again, I've not heard, before this year all of a sudden, that we contaminated the landscape.
Well, I've been complaining about the truck spraying for quite a while. I guess I was talking to the home people, and I'll do a better job of that. My point is that at that time, I thought we were targeting specific areas and we were giving residential people an opt-out if they didn't want their street sprayed. This aerial spraying came up very quickly, as we all know, and we were invited to speak at City Council in Dallas, the day before the spraying was done, but the decision had already been made when we were invited down there to speak about it. So all I'm saying is there's a much, much better way to go that really will work. It'll cost far, far less money. And one of the things that we need to do is we need to mobilize people on the ground. Homeowners, we need to give them educational material about how all this works. We need to get the landscape contracting community involved. We need to get the Boy Scouts involved. We need to get anybody involved we can to get rid of the stagnant water. One of the big places where mosquitoes breed is in sewers and in drainage lines and things underground. That aerial spraying has absolutely zero impact on those places. And that's where the bulk of the problem comes from. In fact, the aerial spraying won't even affect the mosquitoes that are hatching out of open water, because that spray does not kill eggs and larvae in the water. So the only thing it controlled was a small, relatively small percentage of the adults in the air at the time of the spray.
And I just want to thank you for all the information that you've been kind enough to send us, and the comment about the results, because it's exactly what you said at the beginning of your comments. The results are going to show that the mosquitoes have decreased, not because of the spraying, but because the end of the season and because of, the way that they're placed to one day before spraying. So I have already asked for those numbers, Mr. Garrett, so I hope you can review them and we can make them a public knowledge judge once they come. And second, thank you for your Welcome Organic Health tips on your website. I would like to ask you if I can put some of the detoxification procedures in my website. Do you have any problems with some of us posting that kind of information? As someone that just had to rip out a garden in the last 2 days.
Not at all. In the library of my website, Soil Detox is there. I'll be updating it so it'll be easier for people to use. It's basically putting out carbon material, very fine textured carbon material that tie up these neurotoxins, which they are, and then the rest of it is material that will help stimulate biological activity that will break down the chemicals much quicker than I think a lot of people realize is going to happen. But yeah, my stuff is available for anybody to use in any way you'd like.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please don't take my silence as a complete agreement with your comments, but I respect every opinion that you have, and respect you and your work on native plants and organic gardening and organic environmental matters immensely. And thank you for coming.
Well, thank you. My final comment would be that I'm not against pesticides and pest control, only pest control techniques and products that do not work. That's my objection. Thank you.
And our last speaker today is Ms. Marie Today.
Today.
Today? Okay.
Kind of pretty close. Marie Today, and I live on an organic farm at 4708 Pioneer Road. And I guess I'd like to open by saying, someone please tell me when it ever became okay to spray poison of any kind, from an airplane or otherwise, on your citizens. This sounds a little more like public warfare than welfare. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. As Mr. Garrett pointed out, even after your team reported a decline in the positive count of mosquitoes, you proceeded to not only spray the epicenter, but you are bombarding the southern sector of the city, which never had a problem to speak of. Why would you allow this last resort and obviously controversial method to even be considered for an area that didn't even have an issue? Third of all, those tiny droplets of endocrine disruptors that you are dropping can drift up to a mile or more depending on the way the wind catches it.
You are spraying borders of cities that did not want spraying, and some of us have received overspray and drift. It's not all about me jumping through all the hoops that I've had to jump through daily for the last week to secure my farm. Normally, I don't have to worry about breathing anything but farm fresh air. But due to an oversight that has since been apologized for, I am now the proud owner of an oxygen inhaler. Not everyone can simply walk inside their airtight house or office and shut a door to get out of the way of this safe spray that is known not to be safe for everyone. If you have allergies, bronchitis, asthma, or some other underlying health problem, this took 2 phone calls to the poison control because the first nurse basically told me I was full of myself, and I didn't appreciate it. I know my body, and I know what triggers bronchitis. That's why you have 0 reports, because they're not taking them. Instead, Dallas is telling everyone, you don't have to worry about this stuff. It's safe. Even Rutgers warns against using this in a Rutgers study that I have for you, if you'd like it. The risks to the public from West Nile virus have been embellished at the least by the media, while the determined from adulticiding has been ignored and misrepresented. I don't want to pit one segment of people against another, but just for the sake of logic, between the low percentage of people that are really at risk of getting the serious case of West Nile versus the percent of people with known health-associated risks to these poisons being dropped from the sky and sprayed from trucks, who warrants your protection? I dare say you have a much larger population with pulmonary issues than forgetfulness to follow their 4 Ds. And your lovely, constant go-to city of Sacramento is now getting ready to use organophosphates to kill mosquitoes because they are building up a resistance to the 8 years of aerial spraying. We know this stuff. These are facts. If I can find it, and I can find studies, I don't understand why this court couldn't. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
And you bring up points that we brought up in public health. In fact, one of the things in the epicenter that we have asked citizens for the last several years not to do is to use misters. They use misters in the morning, time-release misters, and they utilize them in the evening. They're using the same insecticide that we're spraying. Last year, we briefed the health committee. We said we are creating what is called a super mosquito. We said that. And if you look at the epicenter and all the detail, that's exactly where it's coming from.
And additionally, the excess of watering. City Hall, the day after we had rain, had their irrigation system on. Our very own City Hall doesn't set an example of not using excessive moisture and excessive water. These mosquitoes breed in more than just standing water. I have a landscape contractor who found mosquitoes breeding in a slow-moving fountain. So we do need to educate our landscape professionals to throw BT dunks in fountains as well. Muddy water. Out where I am in a farm area, horse hoofs can lead stagnant water after a rain. A few days after the water recedes, if that hoof mark is in the shade, you have standing water. If there's no irrigation normally and you see green grass, there's water. And we need to educate everyone. And just like Mr. Garrett, I have offered my 20 years of horticultural background in organic farming and gardening to my city as well. And I'm proud to say that the city of Balch Springs was out at 6:30 this morning tagging every door in the city with information on how they can be better citizens, which is what this needs, not crop dusting the public. I don't appreciate it. I have a lot of work to do. When you guys change the schedule and change the time, if I don't die of a stroke from the stress from all of this, then we'll live to help not ever have to go through this again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think one of the things, Joe, that we have to do after this meeting is information, education, and our commissioners work with how can we do things better. And, with our integrated plan, which has been for Commissioner President, I didn't support, I was in the council member group that put it together with the county. So I know we have to work on, but, there's so much that we can do. Soil detoxification and water detoxification. We keep talking about air, But we see some of the cases that happen already in Highland Park with fish dying. They're saying it's not because of, the chemicals that we spray, but the reality is that it could be there. So how can we educate people from now on to be more effective? That's what I would like to see.
I'm hoping that my water in my soil is not contaminated, but I will be having tests taken because I have an organic farm. And I have people, the very same people that are susceptible to West Nile and are susceptible to these aerial assaults are the people that are susceptible to pesticide residue. So, I mean, it's important.
It is very important. Every water and soil.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Maria, I know you, and I want to tell you that there are no good choices in this situation. This is a situation that spiked very quickly. People were dying. This choice needed to be made, and there's not a good choice ever in this situation. But I want to commend you for the great job you do. I don't know if you all know Marie's organic farm, but it's famous in the Dallas area. Marie is a person who starts a lot of community outreach groups and helps people to have their own organic gardens. And she has helped me in the past and has given me advice. I get your newsletter all the time. Thank you for the work that you do.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. I will reserve all comments on this issue, because my comments are known, but I would like to take a moment of personal privilege and recognize my mama is here. Joining me and my niece, Arabella, and who's got her learning permit now. So if you see me and Arabella out on the road, you might want to pull over the shoulder. And I appreciate this. See me on the road, you want to pull over the shoulder. But everybody's family is a great support to them. Mine certainly is. It's great to have them here today. With that, we'll now reconvene in a public session for a closed session. Is authorized by Chapter 551 of the Government Code. It is very important that we get closed session done by, if we possibly can, in 10 minutes today. And so I ask that everyone please come immediately to a closed session so we'll have a quorum and we can knock that out. Any action as a result of the closed session will take place in a subsequent open session. We'll begin a closed session in 1 minute.